I'm going to go ahead and push the record button. So if you don't mind, we're going to record this session so we can share it with others. And I'm joined tonight from our colleagues at Island County Extension with Washington State University, and also Tom Watson, our guest speaker from King County Solid Waste. So we are thrilled to have you all here. This is part of our joint effort with Island County and Snohomish County, Washington State University Extension. We're doing a sustainability speaker series, and just wanted to give you a quick intro to our friends at WSU Island County Extension. For those that are familiar with extension offices, WSU is our land grant university. So we actually have extension offices in 39 counties. And our purpose is to bring the university's research and education to the community. And the program that we're partnering with at Island County is the WasteWise program. They're both in Whidbey Island and Camano Island. And then this is just a brief overview of all the great work they do there. And we're both about reducing waste. I manage the Sustainable Community Steward Program and Waste Warriors at WSU Snohomish County Extension in Everett. And we're really thrilled to be offering this speaker series. Next week, I just want to let you know, if you want to mark your calendars on Wednesday night, so just under a week away, we're going to have our last speaker series event for this year. And it's Understanding Carbon Offsets, and that will be on Wednesday, the 18th at 5 p.m. So I'll send you information about that. But before we go any further, I just, again, wanted to welcome Tom Watson, who is also known as the Eco-Consumer. He runs that program for King County Solid Waste. And a fun story about Tom, I met him in 2012 when I worked at Waste Management. And Tom was talking to our group. I did public education and outreach, and we were at the Cascade Recycling Center, and Tom was talking about the benefits of toilet paper, specifically recycled paper, toilet paper. And it was life-changing for me, Tom. I mean, I had been using recycled paper on and off, but I think maybe you said something like, why use virgin paper for that, right? So now I get Who Gives a Crap. This is my favorite brand. And last year I ordered these, and they came wrapped with a holiday print, and you could give them away as gifts. So that's a little preview I have about that. Tom, why don't you go ahead and tell us about you, and then we'll get started here.
Thanks so much, Heather. I'm just going to jump right into my presentation because we have a lot to cover. And thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Welcome, and welcome to a fall and winter holiday season unlike any other season in our lifetime.
Okay.
The COVID pandemic has changed everything, including the holidays. And we need to recognize that, of course, and put the holidays in that context this year. But the purpose of this presentation is, the premise is that we also can still have fun and be festive and be more sustainable. So I'm here to give you some ideas and to get your ideas about making your holidays greener. Let's have questions and discussion at the end. We'll have a big chunk of time for that. A lot of the things I'm going to show are items we've shown on our EcoConsumer Green Holidays TV segments over the years. I'm scrolling through my notes here. That we've shown on our EcoConsumer Green Holidays TV segments over the years and used in our Green Holidays presentations. I'm going to skip around, so maybe just make a little note about anything that you want to ask a question about or make a comment about during the Q&A time. If you want to ask a question in the Zoom chat feature, Heather is going to monitor those. And we'll also try to get to those questions and comments from the chat in that Q&A and discussion time. To set the tone, the mostly fun and goofy tone for this presentation, let's start with one of my favorites, toilet paper roll crafts. Toilet paper in all its ramifications is it's funny, and there's a lot of waste reduction and recycling angles to toilet paper, a necessity that we all use. So I've got these 3 examples that are fun for kids or adults. And if Heather, if for any reason the sound is weird or the visuals aren't working, please just jump in and let me know, because I can't really tell.
Sounds great.
So the first prop, and I assume it looked like my lighting was okay. That's another thing. Tell me I could adjust my lighting if it needs to be better. So this is a reindeer table decoration made from toilet paper rolls and twigs. And next is
how did you put
Hanukkah
that?
menorah, or at least part of one. Hanukkah, the important Jewish holy time, is December 10th to the 18th this year. Actual menorahs or depictions of them can be made out of anything. This is a good kids craft. A real menorah is a 9-branch candle holder with the one in the middle usually taller. That's the one that's used to light the other candles. I'm just showing you just 3 of the 9. And here are the rest stacked up. And so you make it a menorah. Kids make these things. These are all toilet paper rolls, except for the taller one, which is a cut down paper towel roll. And construction paper scraps are also used for the flames. And
Oh, yes. Well, we're going to try to enlarge your screen, Tom, so that we can see the crafts better.
okay,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You could take the slide off completely for now, I think.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll put it back up in a second.
Yeah, if everyone clicks on the top right of your computer and puts it in speaker view, you should be able to see Tom a lot larger.
And then for this last little toilet paper roll craft project, this glasses case is a gift idea, like for a kid to give a parent or grandparent for their reading glasses. All this is a toilet paper roll and part of another toilet paper roll with a fabric scrap glued around them. There are so many resources for crafts ideas, online searches, library books, your friends, and our King County Green Holidays website. The shortcut for that website is kcgreenholidays.com, or you can just do an online search for Green Holidays King County, or even just search Green Holidays and you should find it. Our Green Holidays website will be updated more in the next couple weeks, and we'll put the recording of this presentation on our King County website also. And I know Heather will have it on theirs. So go ahead and put the Thanksgiving slide back up again for a little bit.
Before we go on, Tom, can you show us your first examples again, just real quick? Now that we have you on larger screen.
Okay, here is the reindeer decoration made from toilet paper rolls and twigs with hot glue to keep the twigs somewhat in place. And then the Hanukkah, the candles for the Hanukkah menorah, just cut out toilet paper rolls and construction paper scraps for the flames. So Thanksgiving, and I'd say just leave this Thanksgiving slide on for just a few minutes, and then when I start showing props again, take the slide off, and so we can have the props bigger again.
Okay.
So but this slide has some general tips for the first big fall and winter holiday coming up 2 weeks from today, Thanksgiving. And we're thinking about Thanksgiving, we're back to COVID reality, and And I'm sorry to say, as you've probably already heard, the advice now is to limit our Thanksgiving gatherings to our immediate household for COVID safety because of the spike in COVID cases. If you feel you do need to gather with a few people besides those in your household, try to follow some of the recommendations about that, like doing the meal outside if you can, and everyone wearing a mask except when you're eating and drinking. And when you are eating and drinking, distancing yourselves. Even better would be having your Thanksgiving guests by Zoom. So like we're doing now, and if you want to do that, which I think many people are going to try, practice Zoom in advance to make sure you can really make it work for everybody. That would be a little tip that I would give. And here's where I also want to share my general personal approach to green holidays and to being green and sustainable in general. And I feel even stronger about this during the pandemic. Being sustainable is wonderful. It's like my life's work, my religion almost. But our personal view of sustainability is never more important than the views of the other people in our household or of anyone really. In our personal sustainability, our green practices, we need to lead by example, not by telling our kids or other family members or roommates or anyone else really what they should be doing. I know that's hard, it is for me, but for those of us who live alone like I do, that can be easier. When you're in quarantining, living in a household with a number of people, that's more of a challenge. Related, and this is hard for me, don't put too much pressure on yourself to be green, especially now. And especially if you're with your family in your own family bubble. Consider COVID and its effects on everyone, not just you, in everything you do. That's just the way we have to live for the next year or so. That's the ultimate deal. Choose green holiday activities this year during COVID that don't take a lot of time or that you can do together. And money is tight for so many of us now, so we should also prioritize green holiday stuff that saves us money. Like on this Thanksgiving slide. For decorations, use stuff from your yard or that you find on walks, like fall leaves and berries and herbs. Spend less on food this year since you'll probably have a smaller crowd. And that will allow you to have fewer leftovers. If you still want to roast a big turkey this year, have a plan. You could ask your neighbors in advance if they would like you to drop by on their doorstep some leftover turkey. And you can have a plan for using the turkey bone for soup. So Heather, why don't you throw on the second slide, decorating?
Okay.
And now I'm going to show some decorating ideas. Once I start showing them in just a second, then you can take it down, but this is just as the introduction. So I'm going to show some decorating ideas more for other holidays besides Thanksgiving, and I'll show gift giving and gift wrapping ideas. Now we're into the heavy prop section of the presentation, all the fun stuff I've been accumulating here for years, really. Many of these ideas I'm going to show can also be adapted for other holidays besides just Christmas. The first one of the fall and winter holidays this year coming up is Diwali, a major festival of Hinduism, very big in India and around the world, including among some communities here in Western Washington state. This year, Diwali starts this Saturday, November 14th, in just 2 days. Hanukkah starts December 10th. Kwanzaa, a celebration of African American culture, is always right after Christmas. We've got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and then Lunar New Year and Chinese New Year, which are very related to each other. They both start on February 12th. All right, decorating ideas. You can take the slide down. And so
Fun.
here, painted light bulb, regular old light bulb. These, for good reasons, these aren't as burned out incandescent light bulbs aren't as, we don't have them as much, but if you do have any around, that you can just paint them and make them into a cool ornament or decoration. And so the wreath from wine corks.
Be right back.
To me, this one, there we go, is way too much work. And I would probably hurt myself trying to do it, threading the wire through the corks and everything. But if you have a lot of wine corks and maybe some little bells like this or something similar in your box of Christmas decorations, it's definitely a fun conversation piece. In this COVID year, this wreath with all these wine corks kind of goes with that popular welcome mat now that says, hope you brought wine. So if you're a wine drinker, this could be fun, but it's a lot of work. So, or then for your holiday decorations, you could always go simple, just using some of the zillions of patterns and ideas online and having the kids make something like this, just a red patterned snowflake cut out, or something like these. This heart ornament, we have several of these. These are just made from salvaged glittery fabric scraps and cardboard and ribbon. If you have some holiday decor that you made, like wreaths of any kind from natural or salvaged materials, for example, if they're handy, get those ready. And in a few minutes during the Q&A and discussion, you could hold those up and show everyone else. That would be fun if you want to do that. I think many of us, if we want to, can go this entire fall and winter holiday season without spending any money on holiday decorations or holiday gift wrapping stuff. We can do that because we can use what we already have or use natural or salvage materials. Set that if you want to save money, which we all do, and just as a fun goal, set that as a goal. Don't buy any gift wrap this year because you probably have some already or can use the examples that we're going to show. So that could be a goal if you wanted to do that. Conserving resources, reducing waste, and saving money have all never been more important than now during this global pandemic. And of course, during our other overused word, our other existential crisis right now, global climate change. That money you save, you could donate it to pandemic relief, for example, or to environmental causes, or to social justice causes. Making a donation in someone's name to a cause that they believe in is also one of the best and most rewarding green, no waste holiday gifts. Now I'm going to show a bunch more examples. Let's start with gift wrap. So use your kids' old artwork and a cloth bow you had saved from past years. You could do something creative with the gift card like this, with Scrabble tiles with a name and a cutout piece from an old greeting card. For a package this size, you can use an old map. This old maps, Heather's nodding. I bet many of you have used these things that we're going to for wrapping paper before. Now this is also an example of part of the gift wrap. being part of the gift or another gift. The ribbon is a jump rope. For small gifts, for years I've used old calendar pages, sometimes taped together. I just tore this one off my calendar today as an example. If you're giving treats like chocolates, you can reuse an old egg carton. So you see that you just put your chocolates in there, or if you're giving your partner several diamond rings or something, you can just use this, and earrings, whatever. But this put a little construction paper or decorations on it, and this works. But it's really good for things like chocolates, if you happen to make chocolates for people, which some people do. So so here you have the pages of an old yearbook and a salvaged ribbon and a pom-pom bow made from a plastic bag. In this case, a Target bag. I've made bows like this before, years ago. These days, I don't really feel like it's worth the trouble, but if you want to do this, just do an online search for something like DIY plastic bag pom-pom bow to see how you just take a plastic bag and scrunch it up and fold it and cut it and can make a bow like this. I've seen some that are really, really pretty beautiful depending on the color of the bag. So if you want to take the trouble, it's kind of a fun idea, the pom-pom bow. And for the gift wrap, this is the grand finale. One of my favorite of all these gift wrap ideas. This package is it can look like kind of store-bought gift wrap, except that it's a little, this package is a little beat up from being used as a prop for many years, but it's nice foil wrap with nice black bow. But the wrapping paper is the rinsed off inside of a chip wrapper, like this. That's what this wrapping paper is. And the ribbon is the tape from an old broken VHS videotape.
Awesome.
Now let's look at some examples of green gifts you could make. If you, let's see.
I'll get there. How about that?
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Heather. If you have sewing skills, reusable cloth COVID masks are always the perfect gift these days. Friends made these for me. This one is reversible, and I love it. Here's another one that I love. So these are or store-bought from local sources. That makes locally bought gifts are a green gift because of the reduced transportation impacts. Locally made gifts. So masks, I think masks are just great gifts. I bet there will be a lot of them in stockings this year or otherwise. But that's something you could make if you do have the sewing skills. You could also give some weird item that you made in that pottery class 30 years ago. For the right person, they might really like it. A work friend gave me this, not for Christmas, but just when she was retiring. And it makes me think of her, and I keep my pens in it. Maybe this shouldn't be someone's main holiday present necessarily, but gifts like this, for the right person, they'll appreciate them. On the slide, it says and in a minute, you might want to take it down so we can see the prompts better. But for now, it says talk it through in advance. That's a gift giving tip to, if you want to be green, just make sure it works for the recipient. Basically, is a tip that I've found really helpful. And then another gift you could make. Food gifts are popular, and they'll be, I think they're especially great this year. Like if you can stuff and put it in mason jars, food gifts are always good. Here's another example of a gift within a gift, where a holiday dish towel was sewn around the jar as the gift wrap.
Nice.
Okay, now some examples of green gifts you could buy. First, a couple of socially relevant gifts. And I'm just scrolling down as I read my notes here. Recently, at a small street festival in Seattle with everyone masked up and distanced, I bought this shirt for my little nephew on the East Coast from a Black-owned local Seattle business. And it's for my nephew's little 2-year-old son. And I think that my nephew Luca and his mom and dad are going to like this. And buying, as I noted, buying local or regional is also green because it reduces transportation impacts. Fair trade products are good green gifts, or socially relevant, maybe more than green, but actually green too. To me, fair trade is a part of sustainability. This is a cloth frisbee made in Guatemala, a certified fair trade product. A product can be certified as fair trade when the producers in developing countries are paid a fair price for their work. And there are a lot of online sources and local sources that you can also buy from online, like the store 10,000 Villages in Seattle, and there's other places. I'm guessing there are some sources in Snohomish County and certainly online sources where you can find fair trade products. So those are those make good gifts also. All right, next, aluminum water bottles. A lot of people are familiar with these kinds of bottles. These reusable aluminum water bottles, manufactured by the Liberty Bottle Company, also known as Liberty Bottle Works or Liberty Works. They're in Union Gap, Washington, near Yakima. These are a great example of a regionally made product. This is one of maybe the only sort of mainstream reusable water bottle made in the US, or at least one of the very few. Mm-hmm. And some of Liberty's bottles, their steel water bottles, are imported, and they do the printing and some of the stuff on them. But these aluminum water bottles, these are two examples, one with a map of Seattle and the other kind of a Hawaiian theme. These are just great examples of regionally made products. Here is a popular, ever popular example of a product made from recycled materials. The Seahawks fan jersey is made from 100% polyester from recycled plastic bottles. It says so right on the label. And it's just like other Seahawks fan jerseys, the 12th fan for the 12s jersey. It's just like other Seahawks fan jerseys. It's just that the source of the polyester is different, recycled instead of petroleum-based. And it's recycled products like this, it's still a challenge. It has been a challenge to get them accepted. I don't think we bought this at the Nike store years ago, and I don't think it was ever really marketed. They felt like people weren't going to want to buy a Seahawks jersey if it was made from recycled materials, so they didn't really publicize that. But if you can look for things, there are some clothing items like this, like fleece items that are made from recycled materials that you can find. Sometimes you really have to search for them. And then some products are green because of what they do. Like these nylon reusable tote bags that can be compacted like this. The pouch is built into the bag, and this just scrunches up into this little pouch. Many of you have seen this. These are sold in a pack of like 4 of them. And these nylon bags are just so sturdy, and with the pouch, it makes it easy to keep it in your backpack or purse. So these are great gifts, but with COVID, things are different about using reusable bags. Some stores don't want you to use them now, or if you do bring them in, you can use them if you bag your own groceries, if you're going to use these for groceries. But even if you can't use them at the grocery store, if you can't use your tote bags at the grocery store right away, right now because of COVID, or not for a while, you can still use these great bags for these great kinds of bags for something else. So I have some other stuff I can show, some examples of what kind of holiday waste is recyclable or reusable. And but I want to go ahead and get to your ideas now. And so I will say, if you have any questions, you can always contact me directly. You can find my contact info on our website. To get to that, just search Tom Watson King County or Tom Watson Recycling. You can call me at my work number, which is, I'm working from home now, like everyone else. And so I answer that at home, and I will answer it or return your calls or your emails. So feel free to ask me any questions, and then I can steer them to other people if other people can answer them better. Now I want to turn it over to you all. What questions do you have, or what examples of cool green holidays stuff do you have that you've done? So let's go for that, and I'll, before I do want to come in at the end again and thank everyone because I've really enjoyed this. But let's I will help moderate the questions as needed. But who wants to jump in and show something that they've done or ask a question?
Well, while people are getting their computers off mute, I'll just say we had a couple of folks offer up. Stacy said she's saving her comics from the Sunday paper for Christmas gift wrap. But
yay, I forgot that one. That's one that I've always used too for big gifts too, the comics.
Yeah, and she really liked your yearbook page wrapping idea. That was super fun. And the chip bags washed out, that was so great. And Mary also said cutting them into strips, and making like those garlands can be great, or sparkly bows for packages. Francine has used a dead mylar balloon for gift wrapping.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did we have here? Geraldine said that, giving those, Chico bags are the ones that, stuff into themselves. Great with the plastic bag ban coming up. Monica says, focusing more on experiences than material items. For sure.
Yes, and I think that's a little more challenging because of COVID, but there still may be ways to do that. And that's something that we've been promoting for years. Our King County Green Holidays program used to be called the Waste Free Holidays program. And we were actually partners with organizations and companies, arts groups and all kinds of folks, to give people discounts on experience gifts. But so that's wonderful if you can make it work. That's one of the best kind of green gifts that really can help you bond with people in your family or the people you're giving them to also.
Yeah. And way to go, Peter. He called out Repair Cafe and Fix It Cafes. Thank you for that. So if anyone wants to try and repair a broken item for a loved one, they can always bring it to a virtual Fix It clinic or the Global Fixers Discord server, which is, I'll share that in the, oh, he did share it in the chat at 5:36. That's where that is.
Thank you.
So that's really fun. WSU is having, Snohomish County, we're having our last remote repair cafe on the item drop off is the 21st. So you can go to our website and sign up for a time slot if you're interested. I love this one from Sarah. Buy used tins at secondhand store and fill them with homemade treats. And let's see what else we have here. Bandanas make great gift wrap and can be used as a face covering. Cool. At first I read that as bananas. I was like, oh, that would be kind of a slimy, but anyway, yeah. I was trying to think. I'm not super crafty, but I have done your idea, Tom, of using old greeting cards as cutting them up and using them as gift tags, or cutting off the front and, you know, putting a new background on them and making them a new card. You know, keep the writing part. Let's see. Yeah, anybody else want to chime in? We want this to be interactive, so you don't have to be shy. Stacy.
Okay, can I?
Yeah,
I have
go ahead.
something to show you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Our Girl Scout troop, we make these. We call them corn cozies. But inside, so in here is like feed corn from the feed store, and then you can put it in the microwave for 2 minutes or 2-3, and then you heat them up, and they keep your feet warm at night, and they're nice so you can have your heat down, save on your heating bill. They're great, and in the summertime you can put them in the freezer and use them as a cold pack to keep you cool at night if it's hot in your room. Or so they're very versatile.
Cool. That's awesome.
Those are great. And one mistake I made once with something like that was putting it in the microwave for too long. So you have to be careful about that because it can start smoking, right?
Yeah, I think the max on these are like 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes about. And the corn never pops. It's just feed corn. And my husband and I, we've had some for like 10 years now. I mean, I think the material's starting to wear out, but they're great.
That's wonderful. The kind that I had a problem with weren't corn. What are the other ones? What are the kind?
Oh, probably the flaxseed. The flaxseed will start on fire.
Yeah, I almost did that once in a microwave at a library in a meeting room when I was doing a Green Holidays presentation that started smoking.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, no.
But that's good to know about the corn. I actually didn't know about the corn method.
Yeah, you can get a 50-pound bag. Like you don't need 50 pounds, but for like $10. So it'll last you a long time.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes.
Carla just suggested she's purchased a few gifts on neighborhood buy, sell, free sites and found the perfect KitchenAid at half the cost of new. I'll be honest, when my kids were younger, I bought almost all of their gifts at Goodwill and thrift stores. I bought a Batman cave once for $4. That thing, like, it was the jackpot. he loved that more than any of the other ones we ever got.
That might be a little more challenging shopping at thrift stores
True.
because of COVID this year.
Yes.
So check in advance, check the hours of the stores and their operating procedures. But and also they're not getting as many donations. The choices might not be as good, but it's worth trying and looking into, especially if you have a regular thrift store that you have a relationship with. So that, and if you know that the recipients are okay with the used gift, those are actually some of the stuff you can find at thrift stores for the right person is really better and more suitable than stuff you could buy. And trying to reduce, I think it's on one of the slides, trying to maybe reduce the amount of online buying we do and instead support local businesses, or if we can make stuff or reuse stuff is better.
Exactly. Let's see. So Mary said a good thing if you have basic sewing skills is produce bags out of old sheets or pillowcase fabric, and they can have drawstrings or not. I've had folks make us cloth gift bags before that we've reused. Peter said fixing families are welcome at virtual Fix-It clinics or the Global Fixers Discord. So sometimes a child has a favorite toy that can't be replaced at any price. Yeah.
Heather, so your next Snohomish County virtual repair clinic, repair cafe is a week from Saturday, is that right?
Yes, it's the 21st. And if you type in WSU Repair Cafe, let me see if that works. Yeah, Snohomish County Repair Cafes is the first website that comes up. And I can just share our website super fast. So anyway, this is our Repair Cafe page, and you can click on here. This is Sign Up Genius, and then you can sign up for an appointment. We're taking items at HopeWorks. HopeWorks is another great organization. They're a social enterprise. They have a multi-use building that, anyway, I don't want to get too into the weeds about it, but let me just say they have a store called Renew, which is a consignment furniture store, and we're going to be just inside their doorway there to stay warm, but taking timed appointments, so only one person at a time. So anyway, thank you for that.
And then where do you have the link on your website, or I guess Peter just put it in the chat to get to the repair assistance that he's talking about?
Oh yeah, thank you. That's right, I was going to do that and then I got distracted.
Okay. You could just post that later, or people could find it on the chat if you want to, but thanks for Peter for mentioning that.
Yeah, and Sarah just mentioned like babysitting coupons, using tea towels as wrapping.
Just as added incentive for people to shop local rather than online, CDC did a recent documentary on online shopping, and according to that, approximately 40% of online purchases are returned. Wow. Which is much, much higher than in-store purchases. And a good portion of those returned online items, the companies are so large that they find it easier to either secondhand them, which is great, liquidate them, or recycle them or landfill them. So buy local.
And that's increased transportation impacts too, returning them, and it's just so tempting now because they've made it so easy to buy online, and it does make sense in some situations, but any way we can support local businesses is great.
Oh,
that there
Carla, I wish you were saying this yourself. This is so wonderful. So Carla is making a her mother a box of several envelopes that say things like "When you're missing me," and includes photos of them together. And when you need a good book to read, and then she's stuffed with local used bookstore gift card. And when you're hungry, it's stuffed with a few favorite recipes. Anyway, all saved in a decorated box. Wow, that's really cool. That's so neat.
That's a wonderful example of a personal gift where you know the connection and what the person wants that you're giving something to, and those are really the best and most cherished gifts by the recipient too.
Mm-hmm. Patricia mentioned if you do order online to ask for only paper and cardboard packaging that can be reused or recycled. And the one caveat I'd say about that is if you order something that's glass, it may come broken if it's only wrapped in paper. That's the only hard part.
And it may be challenging to make that request sometimes. And Amazon, where a lot of online purchases are made, they're really trying to respond to consumers' concerns about packaging. You can search, I think, Amazon packaging recycling, and they have a whole website saying how to recycle their different types of plastic packaging, and they have some that's not plastic. But it's hard to get a choice, and sometimes there are reasons why things are packaged a certain way. It's for protecting the product, and so we have to understand I think the company's point of view on that. Mass marketing and selling and distributing and all these things, that they have to have some kind of regularity in their packaging too. Okay, the elephant, I'm looking at this comment, the elephant in the room. Peter, do you want to jump in and talk about that, or? All right. Anyone else have any comments that they want to make, or questions, ideas?
I was just going to quick share. Okay, here's an Amazon Prime, and people may not know that this is bubble wrap and then an outside plastic, and it can be recycled along with your plastic film collection areas that are in front of mini grocery stores. So that's one of Amazon's efforts, as you mentioned, Tom.
Yes, that's on that Amazon packaging recycling website. But I've looked into that a little bit, the plastic bag recycling now. That's another thing where it's really hard to know how well that's working during COVID. You can do a search for I think plastic bag recycling locations and find this national plastics industry website that where you enter your zip code and you find the closest grocery stores that have those bins for plastic bags, where you bring in your bags of bags and put those in their recycling container. But you really should call for some stores. They aren't doing that now because of COVID. Maybe in some cases they get too full, or they're not being picked up, or there's issues because of all the domino effects of the pandemic. So it's not an obvious solution, but if you can find a store, ideally your regular store, that is taking those plastic bags and they tell you they're getting recycled, then there are a lot more things than you might think of that you can put in with those plastic bags, like several different kinds of Amazon packaging, including their bubble wrap, like Sarah just showed, and the wrap from toilet paper rolls, and clean sandwich bags. But but you need to check to make sure it's working. It's not guaranteed. I mean, just because they say there's all these locations doesn't mean that that system is really working right now. It's the COVID effect of everything's kind of uncertain and screwed up, but hopefully that will get better. And especially, I hope that we can go back to using our tote bags in stores and not using plastic bags, and the plastic bag bans in places like Seattle and other places can fully go into effect. Some other ideas? We just have a few more minutes.
I'll jump in here. I wanted to show you guys some pictures from our WasteWise group. Each year at the Kama Beach Center, they put up, we're not doing it this year because of COVID, but they have a recycled tree, and all of the ornaments here are out of recycled material. And here's some that I made last year. These are the bottoms of pop bottles that I painted snowflakes on, and then the bottom three are the lids to pop bottles, and then the inside of a Verizon bag, actually.
Those are beautiful, Jerry Lynn, really creative.
Yeah, so that's just a fun and kind of inspiring way that we let people know about the program.
That's super cool.
Our Christmas tree is made out of old conduit. It's a metal conduit tree, and we put little hints and tips for a lower waste holiday around it as well. It's really fun to see what the volunteers come up with each year.
That's great.
Yeah, that is super cool. Lots of great input on the comments here, and I'll just echo Carla's request. Make sure you don't put your plastic film in the curbside cart.
Yes.
Will just cause havoc at the recycling center. So,
and that's actually a rule of request that King County has, and and other places too. The haulers, they don't want. They used to say, some haulers like Waste Management, others used to say bags of bags. Plastic bags were okay in the recycling. Not anymore. Even in a bag of bags, take those to the grocery store bin if you can find one that will work.
yeah. Yeah, and then back to Peter's question, like, I don't know how we get our consumer lifestyle or mindset changed. I mean, you know, the day after Halloween, I was at Bartell's and they were already swapping out Halloween stuff and putting up Christmas. And I'm like, wait, I just broke up with Halloween. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this new relationship. But, you know, it just puts this pressure on, like, oh my gosh, I got to hurry up and get shopping or something. And I don't know. And my friend just loaned me this book today too. It's called It's All Too Much. You know, it's just, and it's just like so much stuff, right? So this is by a professional organizer. Peter Walsh, I guess. Anyway, just, yeah, it's being more mindful, spending more time with family and friends, like Patricia mentioned.
And we can all continue to set good examples, and there's so many other efforts that we need to work on in this world. But sustainability is so important, and just the things that you all are doing and your interest and just being kind to each other, we can make a difference. I think that's how we're going to change it, and just setting the good example. And so I'm going to wrap up my portion of this now, and Heather will give her conclusion. And I just want to thank all of you for being part of this today, and big thanks to you, Heather, for inviting me and for all the wonderful work that you do.
Well, thank you, Tom. And I couldn't figure out how to get off of my screen to get to the page where I had your bio. So let me just give you your kudos now. So for those that you don't know, Tom has been working on waste reduction and recycling with King County for 28 years. So his eco-consumer public outreach projects include TV and radio work, like he mentioned, and also the free community repair events and the annual Green Holidays program. So Tom, I'm so glad that you could join us for that, for this really good discussion. And I wanted to mention one of our other partners, City of Shoreline, is doing this virtual screening and then panel discussion on Saturday about the story of plastic. And so I'm very excited to participate in that. And just a reminder again that our next sustainability speaker series event for the year is on Wednesday, Understanding Carbon Offsets. And I'm very excited. So to answer Mary's question, WasteWise is our WSU Island County partners and WSU Island County Extension partners. And we are partnering together, the two extension offices, to create a speaker series for 2021 that we're pretty excited about. And we're looking to partner with the Snow Isle Library to really get the promotion out there. We're looking at things from, reducing food waste and composting, maybe even talking about human composting, how that's kind of getting started, and plastics and all kinds of eco geeking out here. But anyway, all kinds of exciting topics in my opinion. So I'm so glad that everyone was able to join us tonight, and especially you, Alicia. Thank you for joining us, City of Portland. Woohoo!
Yay.
Wow.
Oregon represent.
There are two of us from Oregon, maybe more, but Heather Robinson and I are.
Fantastic. Yay. Hi, good. That's so wonderful. It's so great. The more that we can do as a community, a collective community, and that's where we're really going to have the impacts that we want. So it's wonderful to have everybody participating. And did I miss any key comments in the chat that I need to? Oh, thank you. Geraldine posted the registration link for the carbon offsite presentation. And yeah, well, we'll hope to see everyone again soon, hopefully at that event. And Tom, thanks again. Thank you everybody for being here, and may your holidays be extra green. So everybody have a great night. Thank you so much.
You too, Heather. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.